lesson well. You see, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself.
All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, Tuesday morning. Thank you for tuning in this Tuesday morning. Carol Ann Baldwin is here to talk about your lawns and your gardens and everything associated with those places and those things. If you have a question during the course of the show, don't hesitate to call in. Don't wait for us to take a breath. We'll take a breath when we see your phone call coming in. The number to be on the show is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you? Got
Doing
a
all right.
slightly new format today.
Right.
Got a break at the 15, break at the 30, break at the 45.
Well, you might need to put a zapper on the chair or something. No,
let's just hope I don't forget, because
Right.
I mean, your job is basically just to answer questions and give us information.
Right.
So about our gardens.
So we'll figure it out.
So I have one I want to start with.
Right. Yeah, I heard you.
Oh,
say
you did?
something. No, I didn't hear the question, but I heard earlier you said you had a question for me.
I do. Now,
Okay.
have you driven past Trinity Catholic High School?
I do. Yes.
Do you know the trees
The
that they
new
recently
trees
planted?
that they just put in. Yes, the 2 or so that look very dead.
They are dead. So I have a couple questions. First of all, are they dead?
They shouldn't be.
Huh?
They shouldn't be.
Okay. So I'm assuming they were recently planted because they still have the braces on them, right? So the other question was, if they are dead, and if they were planted by a professional tree retailer or whatever, are trees guaranteed for a certain length of time, like for a month or 2 months?
Normally, yes. They will be warranted by the grower or by the installer. Say it's if you buy landscape material from a landscaper and he comes and installs it, he will generally guarantee his product, or her will guarantee their product for a period of boom. You know, it might be, so long as they do the installation.
Right, okay.
It might be 3 months, 6 months. It might even be a year. These are going to be shrubs, perennials, trees, things like that. If you buy a tree or shrub off of a nursery, many of the big box stores also have a policy like this of, if it dies in a year, you can bring it back. Not all of them do. Ask. But make sure you plant it correctly. If they offer you any tips on how to put that in properly or anything like that, follow them, and that way, hopefully, it won't die, on you. And those big trees, those were done with a tree spade. They're
I'm sure
massive.
it was.
And I believe they were probably only put in, I'm going to say, less than 2 weeks ago.
It's very recently.
It's been real soon. Like you say, it's on that east side of the football field, I think, or something, somewhere in that area.
But they look dead.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 of them that every leaf on them is brown. But hopefully they've got water to them. They are braced up. I would figure that they didn't put dead trees in.
So
it wouldn't make much sense.
So what would cause the brown leaves?
That's just a shock, transplant shock. But usually when you use a big tree spade, you're getting so much of that root ball that's normally, to best of my knowledge, not a real big issue. But then again, they may have had a delay once the tree was cut, once the tree was scooped, and getting it installed.
So the amount of time that it was out of the dirt.
Out of its natural.
Could be like a fish out of water.
You got the tree spade and it's picked it up out of the ground. It's now sitting there kind of crooked or something, for maybe a day or so, and not real happy about that. But
it's funny,
normally,
isn't
it? They should come through that okay. It shouldn't be an issue. When you buy a good sized tree at home. That's why I recommend to people, you got your option between a 3-gallon, a 5-gallon, 7-gallon, 15-gallon plant. Yes, a 15-gallon plant is going to be a more mature plant. That's a big hole to dig.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, I would rather dig a hole for the 3 to 5 gallon and realize it's going to take a couple years to get the roots established. I don't plan on going anywhere in the next few years. If something happens, that would have happened if I'd have bought the 15-gallon one, and digging that hole might have caused it. You never know. And getting that into a smaller, which much easier to dig that size hole. It's you can keep the water on it properly when it's a little bit smaller tree, and just a little easier care. Now, if you're having a professional come in and do it, and you're looking to that the expense isn't an issue. You're looking for an established tree because you have a problem spot in the yard and the landscape. You lost a tree and you really need to put something there. That's a whole nother story. But again, following the good practices of making sure that it gets watered the way it needs to, and not just throw a garden hose on it and walk away from it for a week or two. That'll be a sure kill for your plant, for your tree. But going out and watering it daily as it needs to. We have been getting tons and tons of rain, but again, put something to measure the water out there, because it may not be getting through that canopy depending on where you're at. I could be getting 1.5 inches, 2 inches of rain every day.
That's true.
And I've seen it less than a mile, 2 miles away, where people go, "What rain? I heard the thunder."
Yeah.
And no rain. So be sure just because you got rained on at work doesn't mean it rained at your house.
Right.
When you go home, check your water it as needed.
So the canopy of the tree itself could prevent the roots from getting the water.
From getting as much of the water.
Wow.
Sure. And usually when you're looking at those big trees, that's if it's been a tree spade that brought it in, that's a big root ball. You're talking a tree that's probably very well established, with a caliper probably 4 inches or more around. That's a big established tree. It shouldn't have too much shock when it goes in, but again, those may have gone in and we may have not had rain for a couple of days, and they may not have had the irrigation quite up where it needed to be, but I think they'll come through.
Yeah. So what'll happen next? The leaves will fall off, and new ones will come on?
The leaves should fall off, right, and that's okay. Leaves can fall off. It's actually better when if you look at your tree and you go, "Oh my God, there's yellow leaves, but they're falling off." That's okay.
That's what you want, right?
You kind of want that, right? So long as the branches stay pliable, you know that the tree is still alive. You know that it's still.
So there's a way for somebody who knows what they're looking at to tell. That's not really dead.
That's not really dead. It's going through some transplant shock. It's got it, and it may take a couple months for that to fully overcome that. And planting it here, it was end of June. I want to say, it was about the end of June when I first saw it. It's going to take a little while. It takes 6 weeks or so. You prune something back, it takes about 6 weeks to really see some good growth come out of it. So I'm going to say it's going to take at least 6 weeks. You might start to see a hue of green come across those.
We are doing a little different format for those who listen to the show regularly. We used to have a break at the bottom of the hour. Now we have a break at each 15 minutes. So if you want to be part of the show and we reach one of those moments and you're on the phone, don't worry. We'll let you hang on through the break, and then you'll be able to continue your conversation with Carol Ann. And that next break will be in about a minute. Real quick, I want to tell you something. Yeah. The fact that we're getting more rain seems to be making my grass grow quicker. Oh, yeah. I need to cut it like twice a week now.
Right. This time of year, you will. Yeah. Keep the mower. Yeah. Keep the mowers sharp. Keep the gas can full there, ready to go. But yes, the best thing to do would be, even though you do have to get out there more and it is hot and you are dodging the raindrops, but you do need to mow more often with the amount of water we're getting. Otherwise, you're leaving big piles of grass on the lawn, and those will leave you a dead spot. Or you have to go back and rake it up, because again, it's going to leave the yard. It's not attractive. It's unsightly. If you did miss a day, go through, rake that up, put it around your plants.
Use it as
some mulch or fertilizer. Yeah, put it in your compost, something like that.
You know what else leaves a yellow spot is when the garbage doesn't get picked up on Thursday. It's like it's supposed to, and the garbage pail turns the grass that's sitting on yellow.
Right under there.
All right, we are at that point, so we need to take a little break, but we will be back and continue with You've Got a Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin right after this.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Intervals of clouds and sun today with a thunderstorm around this afternoon and evening. The high today 87 to 91. Partly to mostly cloudy overnight, low 71 to 75. Partial sunshine tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours with a high of 86 to 90. And for Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds with a shower and thunderstorm or two, especially in the afternoon, high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Who would you feed if you had 50 chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A? WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall have teamed up to reward one organization with 50 chicken sandwiches as a way of saying thanks for the great work that organization is doing in our community. And we need your help. See, there are so many great people doing great things that we need nominations. You can nominate your own organization or any organization you choose. Simply send an email to WOCA@WOCA.com and in 350 words or less, tell us why the organization you are nominating should receive 50 free chicken sandwiches from WOCA and Chick-fil-A at the Paddock Mall. We'll review your nominations and then select one deserving organization each month. We'll announce the winner and even read the winning entry on the air. Make sure to include the contact name and phone number of the organization that you are nominating. And thanks from your friends at WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall. Dr. Asad Kamar presents Dancing with the Doctors 2014 on July 19th. This is one of the premier events of the season, and it's a fundraiser to benefit the Frank DeLuca YMCA and Boys and Girls Club of Marion County. Tickets are on sale now. Don't miss the opportunity to see the elegant, classy, and always fun dancing. Visit dancingwiththedoctors.com to purchase your tickets now. Or for more information, call Bern Pareso at 352-216-5493.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Each time we tell even a small white lie, we get a boost in stress that directly impacts our health. So when is it better to use a debit card? If you tend to overspend, when you can't actually see the money you're spending, it is easy to get carried away and rack up huge charges that may be difficult to pay back. Good middle ground is to address somebody the way they introduce themselves to you. So if you say, "Hi, I'm Mrs. Ferguson," then stick with the Mrs.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Do you love to kayak and want to go downstream, but only go so far because you have to paddle back upstream? Well, at Silver Springs Park, there's a new shuttle called Ocala Day Trippin'. So drop your kayak or canoe at the head springs, then drive to the river basin. Leave your vehicle, and Ocala Day Trippin' will drive you back to the head springs on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the top of every hour from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. So enjoy the extra time on the water.
You know, that really does sound good. Thank you, Joe. 18 minutes after 9. I know. It's that time of year. I need to get to the river at least once this year.
Yeah. I've been to the beach once.
Have you?
I made it to the beach.
Which beach did you go
Went
to?
to Flagler.
That's a good beach.
Early last month.
Do you have dogs?
I do.
Do you bring him to the beach?
I didn't.
No?
He's a puppy. My husband was like, "Well, let's just take him to the beach." I thought, it's so hot.
Yeah.
And everything else, and it's all, the salt water that they will drink it. It's not good for them. And I just thought, we're going to stay there any length of time. He's apt to get uncomfortable over time. Or I'm going to get tired having to keep him trying to keep him in the shade and such like that. And I thought,
Flagler County is one of the few counties that allows dogs.
Right.
I think Volusia County allows them in the morning now. That's like the new rule. Yeah.
Yeah, because people like to go walking and jogging with their pets.
They don't want them there when there's a crowd there, though.
No, and it makes sense. There's issues, with animals, but that's a beach thing. With us, we're talking gardens. So if anybody's got any bugs or anything else, I will give an update. If anybody on the air potato, we talked about the air potato beetle probably a month ago, and I went and I looked it up and I read the article. It's actually, if you go, I believe I found it on the University of Florida's website. I just Googled air potato beetle, came up with the article, and I looked through my woods, which I have an issue with air potato. But it is going away really, really fast.
Really? Why?
That beetle is truly decimating the air potato. It's the only thing it touches.
Wow.
It's the only thing it eats. But I found it on ours and found some adults, found the larvae that are just munching away on the leaves of it. It is preventing that vine from growing to the tops of the trees.
Really?
They say it will prevent it because it's not growing to its full potential to stop it from creating more air potatoes, more bulbils on the vine. I'm now wondering, and I think I need to probably try to email them. I did email because in the article it asked for your location. Now I didn't have the GPS location, so I just gave him the best. I mean, hey, you can find it on a map. Good. Here's the address. You GPS it and figure it out. And I'm hoping the beetle overwinters, because you figure some of those potatoes that are underground have a lot of energy in them, even though they weren't able to grow to their full potential this year. They're, I would think, going to still sprout next year.
Are you showing air potatoes on your potato vines? Or on those vines, or just leaves?
Right now, there's just leaves, but there's almost no leaves.
I wonder if I have the same thing, because I don't.
If the leaves on the air potato vine, if anybody's got air potato, when we go to the next break at the bottom of the hour, no, they're a big heart-shaped leaf.
Oh, never mind.
And they usually make a potato anywhere between the size of a pea and a softball.
Wow.
They can be
difference.
very large, all up and down the vines. Now, they don't usually make the potatoes until much later in the summer into the early fall, in which then, as the vine begins to die down, those drop to the ground, replanting themselves. But if you've had air potatoes, say on a back fence or anything at the bottom of the hour or during one of the breaks that we have to take now, you run out there and take a look at the leaves. If they are lacy and just chewed up, be thankful you have this air potato beetle that is just chewing them up. It's in my yard.
How do you get the air potato beetle? They just show up?
They had brought them. They had been a release, and I'm not sure how many locations they released them. I should look that up again. But they can travel. I kept wondering. I wonder how they get from point A to point B. And I found out one way. It was on the back window of my car when I stopped to get gas the other day. I was in Bellevue and I'm pumping gas, and I look at there. There's an adult beetle on the back window of my car.
Is it green?
No, they're actually bright red.
Okay.
They're as red as the light on the that shade of bright.
Wow.
They are really a bright red with a black head that. Somebody said, well, it looks a little bit like a ladybug. Not really, because the body is more elongated, and then the head is black, and you can almost see the proboscis type mouth. But the larvae, it's the larval stage, I forget which instar of it, that are actually feeding on the leaves. They're just munching away, and they go through, and it has really, in the last 6 weeks, I want to say, or so, since we talked, since I can't remember who the caller was who had called in about it, that it was an article. I've looked at mine and seen that this vine, instead of growing and becoming more and more prolific during this time of year, is actually declining and vanishing.
Wow.
So
that'd be nice. I had this one vine. It's driving me nuts, because when I tried with the Roundup,
right. It's tough.
I got it in the wrong places. The grass got some of it, and
right when if you have other vines and things like that, right now you don't have anything that eats those other ones. I'm just glad this looks like this is something with the beetle introduction that's going to be truly a benefit, because it has overtaken some natural areas. But if you've got like the dodder vine, if you've got there's a few different ones that will, the Virginia creeper, things, Smilex vine, that they get in your shrubs.
Maybe that's what I have.
Yeah.
And that beetle won't help them, huh?
And no, it's not going to help them. And the only way to get rid of that stuff is to pull it out and treat it with a stronger or a brush killer type herbicide. And that starts to get tough, especially when it's in the shrubs.
And you have a phone call.
Right.
Thank you for calling. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Morning.
Hello.
There you are.
Carol Ann.
Morning.
See, every once in a while when I'm horsing around out in the yard or on the driveway area, you're talking about these very beautifully colored insects and stuff. You see those kind of good-sized ants that are like real bright red. They're really pretty looking. Should I step on them, or are they dangerous, or what's the deal on that?
Which ones? Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
They're real bright color, like orange or red.
Is the big black and red ones? Like they almost like three segments?
Yeah, something like, all I know is they're very noticeable. They're pretty, and they're pretty good size.
There is a we call it a velvet ant that's red and black, and I think it's red and black and red, or red, it's got the red and black both into it. They're very large. They're probably about an inch long, real thick. They're actually more of a wasp. Pretty much solitary. I wouldn't want to get bit by one. They will put a hurting on you. You could go ahead
would that be poisonous to an animal like a dog or something?
It's gonna put a hurting on them if they try to if they try to bite it.
Yeah. Are they doing anything good in nature, or can I step on them and without feeling guilty?
I would step on them and not feel guilty. Yeah, because I wouldn't want my dog to get bit by one, and I know my dog is right now, because he's still a puppy, is dumb enough to go play with it, and he would get stung. He would get anything that moves, he's going after to go play with.
Yeah, is an insect like that because it's so beautiful in color? Is it like the queen of all of them, or
that's just the way the coloration on the velvet ant is. That's and it is sort of a warning.
Like fire ants, they don't have like piles somewhere. They kind of go somewhere else, right?
Right. They're have a hidden mound. They could be underneath some mulch. They could be underneath some other wooded areas. Most of the time, your ants and ant-like creatures or wasps and things like that will be underneath wood or possibly concrete blocks or things, usually within organic areas.
Yeah. You don't think they're dangerous to like a carpenter ant type of thing that would do some structural damage?
I don't believe they do any structural damage, but they would put a hurting on you if you got into a lot of them. They're gonna gonna hurt. It's gonna be painful. You could have allergic reaction to it. So, if you see one, I would not feel guilty, squishing it. It's big. Make sure that you actually step on, too many times you'll see kids trying to step on ants, and the ants keep walking away because we have tread on our shoes. And
exactly.
it doesn't go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. A lot of times too, you'll see kids doing that barefooted, and
Oh yeah, going, come on, guys, we don't step on bugs without shoes on. You're gonna get stung. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it that way.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah.
And you have another phone call coming in, and good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning. This is Mary Ann calling. Yeah. We have been invaded by snails in our backyard, on the back of the house.
Right.
And also on the side. And I don't know if this question's been asked before, but I just need some help. They're all over the plants. We have some peace plants in the back, and they're climbing up the stucco wall. And then they leave their droppings, and then they're also on the side of the house in the plumbagos.
Yeah, they're sliming everything and eating their way through.
And they leave a mess.
Yes.
They're dropping, clinging to the wall.
Right. Bait. You can go a couple different routes on it.
Okay.
You can either make like a trap for them, and we've talked about them before, is taking like a large empty plastic butter tub type container and cutting from the top down about an inch by an inch a little window that you're going to take that little piece out. And do about 4 or 5 of those around the top part of the container, and then you will dig into the ground to where that container will fit down to the bottom edge of those windows, so that the window itself is open to the ground, open to the top edge of the soil. And then into that you'll put some beer. They don't care what kind it is. Usually stale beer works. So if you can find a single can of beer or a quart bottle where you can cap it off and just keep it for the snails. You can even put a piece of melon or a piece of banana in there, and then once you fill that up, you're not going to fill it up. You're going to put a couple of inches in the bottom of the beer, and then put the lid on. And that way the rainwater won't get in there, the leaves won't fall in and things like that. And just check it every few days. If you need to, you empty it out. But the snails and the slugs will be attracted to that. They'll drop in. They won't be able to get back out, and hence they'll drown.
Okay, well, Thank you very
Yeah.
much. And do you have any ideas on how to get the little droppings off the walls other than just plain scrubbing them?
Probably just scrubbing them or just trying to hose it down. You might try one of the house wash remedies where you just rinse it. You just have to wet it and it'll come off of there. Other than that, no, there's not much you can do. If the traps don't work, my next step would be something like one of the organic slug and snail baits, which are based on iron phosphate. All they do is break down into a fertilizer. When they break down over time, you won't find the slugs and snails dead on the spot, but they will go off and die. But that's not toxic to your pets. The other products out there on the market with the methylaldehyde are highly toxic to pets and other furry creatures and
Can't have
attracted to
that.
it. No.
Are they attracted to peace plants by any chance?
You know what? They can be. I
have about 3 or 4 large ones back there, and I know it's quite obvious, just move them away, but how do you stop them from coming? I mean, I understand killing them, but it's just like they're only in one spot in the back of the house and on the one side.
Well, they don't
like sunshine.
Right, they're in that more shady area.
Right.
And because that stays more moist, that's why they're attracted to it. I would, to try to, because you figure in the wintertime you need to bring the peace lilies back in the house. I would make sure I was putting some of the bait into the top of the pot of those, just so that I know I was not going to overwinter eggs.
Okay.
In them, so that you're not going to bring the snails back in the house.
Yeah, and we back up to a woods too, so we have lots of little critters.
Right. But yeah, you can put the traps out. If some of your items are in pots, you might pick up a little package of the bait and use it. And it's usually in a 3 or 5 gallon pot. You're only going to be using about a tablespoon of it at a time, because it's a little pellet. And if they're in there, they're going to consume it. They're going to, they will expire. But again, it's not going to be toxic to, your pets or your plants.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, I can't.
Got a frog. Yeah, watch out for the frogs, too.
Caroline, I didn't do my job very well. We need to take a break now. We kind of missed the break we were supposed to take, but we'll make good on it right now. And we'll be right back with Caroline Baldwin. If you have a question about your lawn, your garden, the bugs in those gardens and lawns, give her a call right now, 622-WOCA, and we'll be right back.
Look who just walked in the room, Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah, whatsupocala.com.
Hey Adam, those burgers gonna be done before summer's over?
Maybe. Why? You got big plans for the summer?
Not really. Just the usual, kids hanging around the house. How about you?
Actually, I'm having Joshua get his pilot's license this summer.
What? Is he old enough? Can you really do that in just the summer?
Yeah, you can get your pilot's license at 17, and the summer is plenty of time. Plus, this could be the start to his career as an airline pilot.
That is a great idea. I bet Tyler would love that. Actually, I would too.
You guys should do it.
I don't have time for that. Some of us have to work for a living, you know.
Not you, no. Seriously, they work around your schedule.
Really? That's cool. Where are you going?
Ocala Aviation, at the airport off 60th.
How'd you hear about it?
I heard about it on the radio, then I stopped in. I've got a card if you want the number.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my phone.
Hurry up, the burgers are burning.
Okay, I'm ready. Go ahead.
861-7484.
Hold on, I missed a number.
Ah, such a slacker. Here it is again. 861-7484.
Excellent. I'm gonna call them now.
How about we eat before you start your new adventure?
That's probably a good idea.
You think?
Like it or not, springtime is just around the corner, and so is spring cleaning and those winter projects you've been putting off. But don't worry, Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for 1 day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now.
Coming August 8th and 9th, the first annual Ocala Bike Fest. How would you like a chance to win a 2014 Harley Street Glide? How about a 2014 Indian Chief Vintage? The tickets are only $100 each, and each chance drawing has only 599 tickets. Now that is some great odds. All proceeds go to ARC. Questions, call 387-2210. The number again is 387-2210. Ocala Bike Fest. We'll see you there.
Thank you, Joe. 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's return now to Carol Ann Baldwin. And you've got a garden. And if you've got a question for Carol Ann or just want to call in and say something to Carol Ann, the number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, which is 622-9622. If you're out of the area code is 352.
I was going to say, they better be nice if they want to say something. Now, the other thing we've had going on in this area is the Cuban tree frog. You know, this time of year, they get very large.
Are they whitish?
They can be white. They can be tan. They will get darker colors. They can be as big as the palm of my hand. He's got grapefruit. No, thanks. But the Cuban tree frogs are they.
I may offer you grapefruit.
Yeah, somebody just offered me some grapefruit. No, I don't
window.
need any grapefruit. Yeah, it's like it's not grapefruit.
Didn't offer me
season.
any. You notice that?
Well,
just you.
He didn't see you back there. Cuban tree frogs came through, and I don't know exactly when. I know they've become an issue lately. They are an annoying pest. They are huge. They are anywhere between, like you say, a white. If you have, say you have a white carport or a very pale color, that's the color they're going to be while they're resting up there on those beams on top. If they're up into some shrubberies and things like that, they're going to be more green. If they're in an area that's a little more wooded, they're going to pick up more of the brown, the more mottled colors. But they do vary, and it does actually change. They, are somewhat chameleon-like in that they will, change their colors. They are messy, because, yes, they will hang out on your walls and windows, especially if you have a light that's shining there and attracting insects at night. They're going to sit there and
I think we had one on this window one time.
You may have. They eat our little green tree frogs that everybody has always loved, and I don't think I've heard our normal little tree frog for years now because of the Cuban tree frogs. You can there's a couple different ways of identifying. They do have an oversized toe pad, which everybody says, well, all tree frogs have oversized toe pads. Now his are big.
Oversized toe
because because of the size of the frog. They say, if you find a Cuban tree frog at your house, check the Cuban tree frog range map and report sightings. Well, we have them all over. We know they're here. It's not ecologically harmful to kill them.
Is that one?
Yeah, that's one right there. Yeah,
I took that one.
At your house.
No, that was here on this window.
Okay.
That was this window.
Yeah, he's not the barking tree frog though. That's a Cuban tree frog. And
so I need to report it to somebody.
Yeah, or actually just get a sandwich bag. Turn the baggie inside out, kind of like if you're going to go out and poop or skipper behind.
What am I going to do with him?
You're gonna get him inside that Ziploc bag, and you're going to close that Ziploc bag up, and you're going to throw him in the freezer.
Why?
And then when he's good and frozen, so that he doesn't try to hop around in the garbage can when you throw him away. Go ahead and make his demise.
And why? What's wrong with him?
Because they outbreed are native frogs. They will eat the little Cuban tree frogs. They are big enough that they will eat some of the smaller lizards. Someone was telling me they've had an issue with them where the butterflies are making their chrysalises on the house and things like that, and the tree frogs are coming through and just eating them. And So it's, the little tree frogs we had weren't that big of an issue because they were small. They weren't a whole lot bigger than your thumb as a mature size.
Yeah, this guy was
controlled insects. Yeah.
This guy was not the size of my fist, but maybe half the size.
I was going to say probably almost the size of my
Yeah, maybe about
probably
the size of your
about the
fist.
size of my fist. Yeah. Which is a good 2.5, 3 inches.
Big, big
that
frog.
they are big. And if you have if you
put him in the freezer, will he come alive again once he thaws out?
No, because you've put him in a Ziploc bag and you've taken out his air supply.
Ah.
So you've done him in, and then when you're getting ready to take the trash, you can put the trash on the curb, plop him in there, and
why? He's dead though, isn't he dead at that point?
Yeah, but throw him in the garbage and let him get him out of the freezer so there's room for more. But if you have them and you're looking to get rid of them because it has become such a huge population, well, again, like the snails, they'll poop down the side of the house. It's kind of gross down the window that they're on, and they make a mess. They're eating our beneficial bugs as well as as well as bad bugs. Eating our little green tree frogs and some other things. Somebody was trying to tell me they were eating birds too. I don't think so, but they might be able to go after, say, small hummingbirds. That would. Hummingbirds are fairly little. But
did you ever hear of the bird-eating spider?
I have, I think, seen stuff like that where the bird, it's like
they had one at the Market of Marion. Yeah. Did you ever see that?
I don't know. I didn't see.
Do you remember when the Market of Marion had like a little animal?
Had the zoo?
Yeah,
had
like
the
a little
zoo over
zoo
there? Yeah, had giraffes and stuff.
They had a display of a spider and it said a bird-eating spider.
That the spider would trap them in
they didn't
their
show
web
any birds being fed to it or anything.
No, well, I would hope not. But you can make a trap. You can make a frog trap. Instead of a bird-eating trap, get just some PVC pipe, maybe say 1.5 inches inside diameter, and a couple end caps. It doesn't have to be long. So if you bought one piece or a half a piece, because yes, they will cut PVC pipe into pieces for you. It cuts very easily with a hacksaw. Get some caps. Put the cap on the one end. You don't have to glue it. You can strap them together, or you can just strap it down, or a piece of duct tape or something, and when one goes in, and put it in the areas where you've seen them. Set them up on something. Maybe use a piece of duct tape or just something that you can undo. The Velcro strapping might work real well so you can take it up and down. You see one in there, put the other cap on there. Throw him in the freezer. Frog sickle. Dump him out in the trash when he's done, and that way.
Hey kids, let's do something fun with this frog.
Let's do something fun this summer. We're going to make a frog sickle.
By the way, on my home, I always see two of the Cuban frogs, I guess.
Right.
I'm assuming
they're making little ones.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Well, that nature.
I don't know.
If anybody watched Channel 5 the other week, they had a fabulous story on frogs.
Oh, really?
They did, yeah. If anybody was afraid of frogs, it was a bad show, but it was a very interesting on frogs. But the Cuban tree frog is one that has invaded our area, and I personally, I'm trying to do a little control on them. You're not going to get all of them, but that's if you do find them on your home. There's no repellents. There's no anything like that. The only thing you could do is if they are coming to a window, turn off that light outside, close the curtain so there's not the light coming through attracting the insects to that area.
Oh, so they're coming to the bugs?
Yeah, they're coming to bugs.
I got you.
As well.
So the
like
bugs
any
come to
frog.
the light and the frog comes to the bugs.
Same way with the spiders. They'll come to the light too, and I was going to make a smart joke, but I won't. Anybody go into the light. But, you can put, if you need to keep that light on or something like that, you just want to try to control them. Again, put you some type of trap on them. If you do pick them up with your hands, wash your hands thoroughly afterwards. They do have an excretion that you wouldn't want to touch your eyes. And of course, you're handling a frog. Go wash your hands. Just like your mother would have told you. Go wash your hands. Right. And don't let your pets and everything chew on the frogs.
No, it's not good at all.
We've,
I know we're almost at that. I know we got to watch the clock now more than we ever used to have to. But we're almost up at that point.
Yeah.
If you have a question for Carolyn, you want to call in about the bugs, the insects, the critters, the grass, the trees, the mulch.
Whatever you got.
Any advice on how to slow down the speed of the grass growing right now? Because it's growing twice as fast
as it usually does.
There might not be an answer to that, but we can still call in and talk about it. Anyway, if you do want to call in, the number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, which is 622-9622. We will take a little break right now and then be back in about 3 minutes. If you call right now, you'll be on hold the whole time, and that's okay. We don't mind. But anyway, if you want to call right now, 622-WOCA, and we'll be right back with more You've Got a Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Intervals of clouds and sun today with a thunderstorm around this afternoon and evening. The high today, 87 to 91. Partly to mostly cloudy overnight, low 71 to 75. Partial sunshine tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours with a high of 86 to 90. And for Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds with a shower and thunderstorm or two, especially in the afternoon, high 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful screen room or glass enclosure. We are Superior Aluminum and Design, a family-owned and operated business with 20 years experience in the aluminum industry, and we are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. If you appreciate superior workmanship, call Superior Aluminum and Design at 817-8058 or visit us on the web at superiораluminumdesign.com.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Dr. Assad Kamar presents Dancing with the Doctors 2014 on July 19th. This is one of the premier events of the season, and it's a fundraiser to benefit the Frank DeLuca YMCA and Boys and Girls Club of Marion County. Tickets are on sale now. Don't miss the opportunity to see the elegant, classy, and always fun dancing. Visit dancingwiththedoctors.com to purchase your tickets now. Or for more information, call Bern Pareso at 352-216-5493.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
1370 WOCA.
All right, just about 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. A good 12 minutes to get your questions answered from Carol Ann Baldwin. You've got a garden, Carol Ann?
I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm not used to the breaks here, but
right.
We'll get used to it.
We will. And that's, I don't know, okay, well, we'll see what goes on.
For the local audience, this means that in the near future, we'll be spreading out to other audiences.
We're trying.
So,
I'm trying.
So you might be competing with questions from people.
Yeah, then I will need a bigger note.
You have to have a staff.
Yeah, somebody just hand me a stick. Here's your staff. There you go. Staff of one.
Johnny, go look up what the weather is in Detroit or something.
Yeah, find out what it is. No, I just have to, get a bigger than just a note. I will have to carry a little laptop or something in order to find out. But you were back to where we were talking about on the grass. As you said, that it's growing like crazy because we're getting plenty of rain, and it will this time of year. It's warm. The rain. We also get the lightning, which seems to feed that rain and feed the grass. With the ions and the rest of that. Do keep the grass mowed because it is healthier for the grass. Don't let it get massively out of hand. If you think you're going to be out of town for, more than just a couple of days, you might want to break down and either pay your neighbor, pay the neighbor's kids, somebody to come through and mow for you at least once while you're gone. There are people that will put stuff down to stunt their lawn, and I don't know if they know that that's what they're doing.
Oh, really?
I think they think they're preventing and getting rid of crabgrass, which for us this time of year, I don't think anything you put down is going to prevent crabgrass. But they're using like the preventer, like the halts and things like that, or they're trying to use like the bonus S's if they have a St. Augustine lawn. And that's not the thing to do. You don't want to be putting that stuff down all the time. I guess over time it could possibly make your weeds immune to it, because I mean that's where one of the issues with I hate to say the word because I don't want to get on the topic, GMO stuff where it's Roundup Ready, is that we have weeds that are already immune to glyphosate, so now they have to add another herbicide to it. But so putting down herbicides when you really shouldn't be is not the right thing to do, but it does stunt a lawn. It will hold it down in its height because it's damaging the lawn. It's preventing it from growing. But no, just keep up on it. You're still not ready to put a regular fertilizer down, not till about September. It's hot, it's wet, just mow it, keep it going. If you're seeing bad spots, it's July. We're past June now. I have to catch up and be almost August here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Look for pests, chinch bugs in St. Augustine, hunting bill bugs in zoysia. Grubs can be an issue pretty much under any of them because they will feed on the roots. The adults are beetles, so if you see a lot of larger beetles coming up out of the ground, that could be part of the issue, that they're going in and out laying eggs. The egg becomes a grub. The grubs are ugly. If you're thinking that, dig in the area to sort of lift up a square foot of that sod in that area. Look underneath there. If you have more than one or two, you may wish to treat for grubs because you're having a problem. You may even find them in your mulch beds in your flowers. If you're seeing a lot of them, you may want to treat if that's something that does have a concern for you. And just read and follow the label instructions. Don't put it down when we're getting ready to have a rain event. If they're saying we've got a day or so that we have a lesser chance of rain, where only 3 in 10 of us will get wet that day, that might be a good day to put it down. And I always say, watch out how big the crowd you're in, because if it's 3 in 10 and there's 20 people, 6 of you are getting wet that day. So, so watch out. Watch the crowds you're in. You lower your odds on getting wet. So, but yeah, watch it, read the directions. None of them tell you to put it down when it's going to rain.
Getting back to bugs just for a second. I really think that the professionals have something different than what I can buy in the store.
They do.
Even if I go to Lowe's and you think that that's going to be some of the high quality stuff, it still doesn't do as good as the guy who comes over from Florida Pest Control.
Exactly. They do, because they take classes. They have restricted use licenses. They can use products that are
stronger,
are not labeled for use by the homeowner. So even if you go to if You Kill 'Em still around, or places like that, you're probably still not buying the same thing that the actual pest control, because you can't. They cannot legally sell it to you. There are certain products that you just you probably wouldn't want to handle it if it was the full strength. But it's also you buy round, and I hate to use it except everybody's familiar with it, and it does come in different concentrations. You buy a bottle of, I'll say weed killer then instead of saying the Roundup word, ready to use. It is, if it's the store brand, it's probably 1.2% maybe in that bottle. You buy the name brand, it might be 2% is what the active ingredient is.
And the rest is just water?
The rest is just water carrying agent, surfactants possibly. They're inner ingredients or other ingredients. Generally, they're not the active ingredient. You buy the concentrate and you read the instructions, and the instructions tells you to put 4 ounces of this product into a gallon of water. And I'm making that number up because I can't remember the actual mixing instructions. You're making the same thing as the ready to use. Some of them will say for best results, and it may be another whole ounce more. And yes, you are making a higher concentration. Don't go over their higher concentration recommendations normally, because then sometimes they won't work, because you get too much of it in there, and it's the way the chemicals are working, it's too much. It either goes in too quickly, it burns the top of the plant, not getting down into the root zone. We're talking weed killers here. You've got some other concentrations of them where you're talking 18%, 24%, 40%, 51% in these, and you get reading the instructions and you're using less and less of it. What it is it's just a value. When you're buying that, you're paying more for a same size quart, but you're using less product in that bottle. You get up into the pro forms of them, and there has a whole booklet. It's not just a page or two of instructions, and it will give you how to mix it up as heavy as about a 50%. But then that has like no surfactant added to it, so you may need to add something to help it to adhere to the leaves. And again, read and follow the instructions, but it'll also bring it down to, if you say you were a commercial guy and you're giving all your guys a gallon of ready to use, it breaks that gallon of ready use down to about I think it was $2.65 the last time I did the math on it, and that took a while for us to sit there and do the math and figure out how many, how many gallons of ready mix that you would get out of it. But on the instructions are there for your safety, for the safety of your property, your pets, the environment. The licensed pest control applicator takes the courses. He's using proper care with these items. I mean, it's just like the reason you can't just go over the counter in your local Walgreens and buy a stronger pain reliever.
I guess that, good comparison.
It's because there's somebody who needs to tell you how to use it right. The doctor can give you the injection. You got to buy the pill. He gives you the prescription for the pill.
Right.
It's a user knowledge kind of thing. Education does go a long way.
So it applies to weed control. And to bug spray, huh?
And bug spray, the stuff you have in your home is different. If you notice, you get your pest control companies advertised on radio and television that we come out every 3 months. Then how can the stuff they sell at the big box store last for a year?
Yeah, right.
It's
we had the guy from Raid on,
right.
And I do agree that Raid does kill the bugs.
Yes.
Whereas Hot Shot, they crawl away. I don't know if they die later on or not. But
some of them, if you think of the ones where when you spray them and they flip over, that's a neurotoxin. It just zapped him instantly.
Yeah, they go and that's Raid. That describes Raid.
Yeah, and the other ones that managed to crawl off, he's actually probably poisoning more friends and neighbors.
Oh, really?
Friends, family, and
neighbors. That might be better
than the other ones, right? So, some of the liquid ones that you spray your perimeter inside your home and outside your home, some of them actually have a flushing agent going, well, I sprayed that stuff and I see more and more bugs now. Well, that's because they're coming out because you sprayed the product in there and it's chasing them out through that product. They pick it up on their body, they groom, and yes, bugs groom.
Do you know what I don't
they kill more.
agree, and maybe you can help me out with this? They always say kills bugs for 6 months. I don't think so.
That's why I say if your pest control company needs to come back quarterly, how can the stuff you buy over the counter last for a year?
Yeah, right. But why did they put it on the label?
Because it would, in best case scenario. In best case scenario.
In a petri dish, but nothing.
Well, if you spray the inside of your kitchen, you run all your baseboards, and you never mop that up, that product will be there a year.
You think?
And if the bug went through it, I guess he would still pick it up and he could
I don't mop
possibly
that
die.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mop it. We do have a phone call coming in, but we've got about a minute. Okay. Really has to be a quick one. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning. Well, I've tried everything known to man, from like Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart for German cockroaches. I sprayed everything outside, inside, and they were just pretty much partying like Joe's apartment at my house.
Right.
Until I went to do-it-yourself pest control on the internet and got some type of gel and some kind of biologic patch that you press and it absorbs the liquid in a little pad. And I put that down, and all my roaches are gone. I couldn't believe it because I thought I was pretty much had to live with roaches my whole life. But
that's a good tip.
Ortho, home defense, and all this stuff, it just didn't work. And I think the roaches actually get immune to some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Could be, yeah. We've got about 10 seconds. Hey, thank you for the call. That was a good tip.
Yeah.
Good last tip. Carolyn, thank you for doing the show as you do. All right, hang in there. We need to move forward. Fox News is coming up. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president grappling with the growing problem of undocumented children coming into the country.
Calling the border children a humanitarian crisis. The president travels to Texas this week, but he has no plans to visit the border in spite of calls from one of his biggest critics, Republican Governor Rick Perry.
If the president of the United States is really serious about securing that border, we can show him how to do that.
Instead, the president is inviting Perry to a roundtable on immigration issues.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland.
Today, President Obama will ask Congress for $2 billion to deal with a wave of children crossing the border. The White House says most will be deported.
Israel says its military has hit nearly 100 sites in the Gaza Strip to suppress rocket attacks against Israel. And people in Washington state already lining up at the few stores allowed to sell pot legally without permission from a doctor starting this morning when doors open at 8 o'clock local time. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
On March 3rd last year, Henry W. faced his own death with incredible courage. He wasn't in an accident. He wasn't ill. He wasn't in any danger. But he faced this reality.